Hello again, something a little bit different today. Johnnie Walker, White Walker edition. Is it any good or is it disappointing as Series 8? We'll see soon. Hello again, welcome back to Wasn't My Fault and Whisky Wednesday. It's been a little bit of time since I last did a Whisky Wednesday, so it's about time I did because I've got a lot of whiskies to go through and some other bits and pieces, which we shall get to later on. So today we have Johnnie Walker, White Walker edition. If you can see, Mr. Johnnie Walker on the front is dressed like a White Walker with the blue eyes and everything. Actually quite nice, shiny, bright blue eyes if you can see that. So this is a special one. It's 41.7% alcohol in it. It's quite an interesting bottle. It does say freeze for an unexpected... It says freeze for an unexpected icy reveal. I can see it says winter is here on the side, but at the end of the video I will freeze it and see what actually happens and show you, so it might be interesting. So what else do we have? So we've got them on the front. It says distilled, blended and bottled north of the wall. So obviously it's referring to Game of Thrones. But if it's a Scotch, in Scotland, north of the wall would be Hadrian's Wall, which separates Scotland from England. So that's kind of a nice little double meaning there. So what does it say on the back? A little bit of blurb on the back. So what it says is, once forgotten and reduced to ancient legend, White Walkers have emerged from the frozen north, bringing with them the chill of winter and the promise of terror and destruction to all who stand in their path. With their tall blades of ice capable of slicing through iron and their silent icy blue gaze, they're a chilling sight. When you see the undead coming, you know winter is here. White Walker by Johnnie Walker is a blend Scotch whisky inspired by these chill-inducing walkers. At the heart of the blend are single malts, a few different ones, chill filtered, blah blah blah, so that's a normal thing. The whisky develops in complexity as it warms to room temperature. Yeah, normal kind of blurb, so that's fine. So let's have a look and look this up. That is annoying, I'm not sure why it's got a bit of a rattle to it, to be honest, but we shall find out, no doubt. This is the first Johnnie Walker I'm actually testing. I do have two more behind me. I have the red label and I have the black label. I can't afford the blue label, so I've got those ones. I have black and I have red to try after this. Not today, because that would be a little bit ridiculous. Right, still taking this off. It's quite nice that the top of the bottle also has that. There we go. Come on. Right. Oh, it's got a little marble in it. I've seen similar tops to that before. Might be able to see that. So I've seen with, what's it called? Got one back here that has that type of thing. I can't even find it. Where is it? Scotch somewhere. Scotch somewhere. Yes, that one back there. It's the Chivas Regal 13 had one of those weird things. I got it in Poland, so well, I got it from someone in Poland sent it me back. There we go. Right, so let's have a try. I guess that's to stop you pouring it too quickly, is it? Yeah. How does that work then? There we go. That took a little bit to do, didn't it? That was weird. So that's a normal 25 centiliter shot, as I always do. We'll see how the flavour and the smell. Let's try. Nose first. Timu, leave me alone. Don't want to buy anything. Oh, this is so frustrating. It's a lot fresher than I thought it would be. A lot more citrusy, so maybe it's a colour. It's quite pale, but quite a nice amber colour to it. Definitely citrusy and quite sweet smelling as well. But what else is it? It's hard to tell. It's been a little bit. I'm a little bit out of practice, to be honest. Definitely, I'm getting alcohol smell from it. So you don't. Sometimes that's overpowered by other things. Definitely fruit. There's a lot more fruit forward than other ones. Maybe slightly strawberry, orange, a little bit of citrus, definitely a bit of citrusy. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh. Definitely more fruit when you actually taste that. That's surprisingly fruity. I didn't expect that. Yeah, the fruitiness is coming through. But it's not citrusy fruit. Maybe kind of slightly peachy, maybe? Yeah, I'm definitely getting peach vibes from it. What else is that? Yeah, there's a fruitiness that comes through, definitely. Slightly caramelly. That's it. It's that sweetness I was getting on the smell definitely comes through. So it's definitely kind of sweet fruits and that sort of thing. So not quite berries, but definitely kind of peachy, something like that. I'm getting from it, maybe like peach cobbler, something like that. Caramelized on top, that kind of flavour. Yeah, there's a little bit of bitterness from the alcohol, which just come through more in the back end, just as it's kind of fading away. You get that a little bit coconutty as well, but you definitely get the kind of alcoholness as it comes through, kind of like vodka. That's really just kind of straight alcohol flavour at the end. That kind of lingers a little bit, yeah, with a little bit of coconut. That's quite unusual. I don't mind that, to be honest. That's actually quite nice. Be interesting to see what the other Johnnie Walkers are like. Right, a little bit of water. See if we can open it up a little bit, and then we'll do our usual testing with all the other stuff. And it doesn't really bring much out in the smell of it. It doesn't smell quite as sweet with a little bit of water. No, that changes it way too much. It's a lot more harsh. It's definitely not sweet. That just a little drop of water took out pretty much all the sweetness from that. And it's no longer kind of peachy. It's still kind of fruity, but more citrusy, kind of more grapefruity. That kind of tartness, and definitely more alcohol forward. You definitely taste a lot more alcohol. There's still a little bit of coconut at the end, but not as much. So I definitely think this is one that the water hasn't improved it. It's actually taken away some of the subtlety. It is quite a subtle one, as a lot of scotches I found tend to be a lot more subtle, where you get the bourbons a lot more strong flavours, whereas the scotch tends to be a lot more subtle. And if you add something to it, you take away some of the little subtleties. So I'm not saying the bourbons aren't complex, but the tastes tend to be kind of in your face a little bit more, and a lot more bold flavours, cherries and things like that. You can taste really kind of instantly, oh yeah, that's that. Whereas with the scotch, it tends to be little flavours kind of nuanced together, and if you make a little change, you'll miss those little ones. That's what I find, which is why I find bourbon tends to work better on a lot more cocktails and with Coke and stuff like that, rather than Scotch. Scotch tends to get lost a little bit more. But anyway, that's quite nice. Definitely get kind of a burn from that. I wasn't getting when I didn't have the water, but it's definitely more of an alcohol burn, sort of aftertaste lingers from it, which is not as nice. I prefer the coconutiness of it when it's without water. So I'm going to go and grab all the other glasses and coffee and Pepsi and everything else. Let's see how it does in cocktails and everything else. Back in a moment. Okay, so here we are with the usual lineup. I'm actually move that to there. And yes, I'm using my XIX glasses because they're cool, and it means I can actually do things right. That's actually a full can of Pepsi Max in that. Yeah, full can. So that is perfect for doing the test. So I know exactly how much I'm doing every time. Right, let's put this in. This bottle is a pain in the ass. What do I have to do to make it come out? Do it slowly, do it quickly. One in there. Yeah, I don't like this bottle. It seems to not pour and then it pours too quickly. See, there's almost nothing coming out. Oh my god, this is so slow. So I'm just doing single shots, everything apart from the old fashioned, which obviously requires 2 shots. Or a little bit extra just because that's how it's pouring and it's taking so long. Look at it. There we go. I'm going to put that by there where we did. So here we are. So we have with ice, with Pepsi Max, in an old fashioned, which I do need to stir all of these, and in a black coffee because I don't drink coffee with milk. So try in a black coffee as well. See if it does anything. Give it all the best chance I can. If everything is stirred, hopefully it'll make sense. Right, let's try the Pepsi first. That's probably the best starting point. Ooh. For some reason I'm getting vanilla. I don't know why. Just normal Pepsi Max, but that's definitely a little bit citrusy, slightly peachy I guess. But yeah, vanilla really shines through in that. But I didn't taste vanilla by itself. Definitely it does have an effect. That's actually quite pleasant. If you like vanilla, then yeah, that seems to work. Vanilla. The coconut, I think, has kind of disappeared completely. It's slightly peachy, definitely sweeter. And yeah, vanilla. Interesting, interesting, interesting. My big ice cube. Let's see how this goes. Not much left in the nose, as expected. It's reduced really to paint thinner. Or vodka. There's not a lot. There's a little bit of sweetness in it, a little bit of fruitiness in the back end, like the finish. But no, I wouldn't put it with ice. No, it ruins it completely. No, coffee next. I'll do old fashioned last because it's going to be really sweet with all the simple syrup in it. Right. Not a lot to smell. No, not a lot. Doesn't really do anything. I can taste this in there. It does take some of the harshness because I tend to have an Americano rather than filter. Just because I'm lazy and I just have to press one button on my bean to cup machine. So it's probably better with a filter because it's not quite as harsh. And it's not espresso based, whereas an Americano is just an espresso with hot water. So it's going to be a lot more harsh. But I'm not really noticing a lot of difference from the whiskey, so it's not really done a lot, to be honest. I know one shot isn't a lot, but I've got to be fair. That's what I do every time. And I'm having 7 shots in one video, and I've got to edit it yet, so I'm not doing double shots and everything. That's just, yeah, it's a bit much. Does take some of the harshness away with a little bit of sweetness, but not a huge amount. Right. Time for the old-fashioned. It's pleasant, but again, Scotch in an old-fashioned just doesn't seem to work for me at all. There's not enough strong flavours there. I'd rather have a Scotch neat. I can tell it's a Scotch thing because I can tell there's alcohol in it, and it's got the kind of sweetness of it, although there's already a lot of sweetness because of the simple syrup. And you get the bitterness. I suppose it just kind of levels out. It kind of balances the sweetness and the bitterness a little bit for the whiskey because the whiskey's got both of those notes, but it tends to go towards the sweeter scale of it with like the peach and the coconut and the vanilla I'm getting out of the Coke. So it kind of balances it out so it doesn't feel quite as bitter or quite as sweet. It kind of mellows both flavours a little bit, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Oh, it's still drinkable. And there's definitely, I know they're still getting the citrus from the bitters and so on, but it's not adding a lot. If anything, it's kind of taken away the contrasting flavours in it, so I wouldn't use it like that. Go back down. Back down the list. Yes, that vanilla. It's a vanilla aftertaste I'm getting from that, quite strong. The peach kind of flavour is kind of there. It's just a hint of it. It's not as strong as it was in just the plain glass. It was definitely there, but it's yeah. And I'm still tasting vanilla now. So that's quite surprising and actually not bad. That's just plain vanilla. But I've noticed that with some Scotch, like you can get like Haze Club, which is, I've actually got back there, I've got an orange one to try as well. That's kind of designed to be a mixer with things like Coke, so it's got those subtleties to kind of blend into it, and that's what they've designed it for. I think, to be honest, this is a similar thing. It's neat, or have it with something like Coke. I'm not sure what else you'd have with nothing strong flavoured. Maybe I'll get away with lemonade if you like lemonade with it. Soda water or something, maybe that might work. But personally for me, I think neat or Coke. Pepsi. No, it just takes away the harshness. Sometimes you get maybe a little bit of woodiness that brings out in the coffee. That's really about it, to be honest. Not a lot else. Back to the plain one. Oh, it smells so nice. Yeah, definitely peach. There's more alcohol in it because obviously I put water in it. So a little bit of alcohol burn. A little bit of that coconut in the finish. I actually quite like that. That's nice. It's not bad at all. I'm quite pleasantly surprised. Again, it's the Coke that surprises me. I don't expect things like a Scotch to go quite as well with Coke, but it does, so that's a nice pleasant surprise. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll put this in the freezer now, and I'll pop it on screen after this so you can see exactly what the bottle does. So who knows, maybe it's interesting, maybe it's just gimmicky. We shall see. Anyway, thanks all for joining me, and join me again soon. Bye bye for now.